Can I just say that WWE Raw sucks this week? I was bitterly disappointed with everything that I saw. I thought it was going to be quite a good show because you had John Cena versus Seth Rollins in your main event. We had Kofi Kingston versus Antonio Cesaro for the second straight week in a row, which I'll get onto later on. We started off pretty well as well. We had Roman Reigns and Kane having one heck of a brawl, which was quite entertaining. The Authority, they weren't even there tonight, and at first I thought, well, that's a good thing, because every week they just come out and do the same thing. They say, welcome to Monday Night Raw, and then they have a go at Daniel Bryan for not being an A-plus player. But I don't get this whole A-plus, B-plus bullshit that all of a sudden has turned up in WWE. I mean, a couple of years ago, you never heard anybody go, he's an A-plus player, he's a B-plus player, he's C at best. But every week we get it now, and it's always around Daniel Bryan. It's like they're trying to keep him in the zone even though he's out injured, but I don't think he needs that. When he comes back, everyone's going to cheer like crazy. I mean, he's really over. We don't need constantly reminding that, we were right all along, he's not an A-plus player because his body can't recuperate like an A-plus player's. I mean, not like John Cena Superman, who can have a surgery and then walk back into the company the next day. I think we all remember 2008 when he returned really early at the Royal Rumble and just won the damn thing. But anyway, I'm going off topic. This is about Monday Night Raw. Like I said before, Roman Reigns started off calling Kane Randy Orton's bitch and Triple H's lapdog, which obviously led to a massive brawl between Roman Reigns and Kane, which I thought was pretty even. You know, I felt a bit bad for Jamie Noble, Finlay, and that referee for getting beaten up by both of them. But I actually think that down the road, that could be quite a good pay-per-view match, Roman Reigns and Kane. I know some people will go, oh, but Kane's boring, he's old, he'll lose automatically. I think he would do a very good job of putting Roman Reigns over, because they're both big powerhouses. The match could be quite close to close hand-to-hand combat throughout the entire thing. And yeah, Roman Reigns will win, but it'll be a close match, and I think that'll be a really good pay-per-view match. But that's just my opinion. We also had Chris Jericho competing in his first Raw match for over a year against The Miz, and that was meh. It was alright on Chris Jericho's part, but The Miz, I am never going to be sold on The Miz. He just bores me to tears. Comes out, says he's awesome, blah blah blah. You know, I lost more respect for Miz when he started using the figure 4 lock last year, you know, Ric Flair's move. And as we all know, the rumours are that Ric Flair's coming back to manage The Miz, which I think is fucking stupid. I mean, what is the point? Why waste Ric Flair on a superstar who most people can't stand? I mean, as a heel, fair enough. People can't stand him anyway. People boo him, that's his job. And to be honest, he really gets under my skin, so he must be doing a very good job. But why not use Ric Flair on somebody that the fans actually want to see being pushed, like Dolph Ziggler? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been pushed before, but the company doesn't trust him because of the whole injury thing. He keeps getting injured when they give him a push. And they're thinking of him de-pushing Daniel Bryan a little bit because of the whole injury thing as well. So, to become an A-plus player like the Authority keeps going on, you have to be a superstar that practically barely ever gets injured. So is that why you're more than likely going to be giving the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to a fucking part-timer after SummerSlam, aka Brock Lesnar? Sorry, that was a terrible impression. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Brock Lesnar become the champion. But deep down, I'm going to know he's barely going to turn up with the gold there. The only way this is going to make any sense, in my opinion, is if you split belts up. If you, say, give Brock Lesnar the WWE Championship, he goes off, makes a couple appearances up to WrestleMania, but you still have a championship on your show, the World Heavyweight Championship. So one championship is still regularly defended, but the other one disappears for a while. Because another thing that doesn't make too much sense in all this is Seth Rollins having the Money in the Bank contract if Brock Lesnar is going to win the championship off John Cena at SummerSlam, unless he loses it to John Cena at Night of Champions and he becomes a 16-time world champion. Then it doesn't make sense, because if there's no championship around, who does Seth Rollins cash in on? Oh, do we have to wait until after WrestleMania 31? I mean, he does have until the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but that's a bit of a long wait. I mean, what's Seth Rollins going to do up till then? Are they just going to slowly build him up and put him over more as a star? Part of me just thinks that WWE doesn't really know what it's doing at the moment. They're just focusing on part-timers again, like Brock Lesnar. Apparently Batista's coming back soon from his little break. I'm sure people will come up with fascinating new names for him. Maybe he'll come out in yellow trunks and become Yellow Tista, or Green Tista, Pink Tista. I'm not going to say the next one. Anyway, back onto the show. One part of the show I didn't really understand was the Divas tag team match, the Funkadactyls versus AJ and Paige. That was boring for me. I mean, I don't get the whole breakup between the Funkadactyls. I mean, we've been doing it for a few weeks now. Naomi and Cameron always looks bored out of her mind, stood on the ring, while Naomi does all the work. But this week, Cameron tagged in, got her ass whooped. They lost. Then they had I guess you could call it a scrap. Wasn't much of a scrap, really. Sorry, but can I just say my personal opinion? I think Cameron is the worst diva of all time. Oh, sorry. I forgot that even Marie is still become. Sorry, Cameron's the second worst diva of all time. Even Marie's still the worst diva of all time. I mean, she's got a little better at wrestling, but I still think she sucks. Ugh. And is Paige turning heel? I'm confused at the moment because she's going around acting all buddy-like with AJ Lee, but didn't she just lose the Divas Championship to her a week previous? That doesn't make any sense. Is Paige going to one week just attack her and then set up a title match? I don't know, but I'm English, and you know the whole Paige is English thing, so you'd think I'd be right behind her and all that, but she's kind of boring me at the moment, Paige. She's not winning me over or anything. She doesn't even talk like she's from... Well, then again, I've never been to East Anglia, so I wouldn't know. Forget I said that. Anyway, main event time. John Cena, Seth Rollins. Kind of a good back-to-back match. I won't put it on the pay-per-view just yet. Obviously, Kane and Randy Orton came down, as did Roman Reigns. A brawl broke out. They teased Seth Rollins cashing in the contract, but as usual, Dean Ambrose once again comes out and stops him from doing so. Same old, really. You know, the endings are the same. Two people have a match. Two guys come out, interfere, blah blah blah. The faces stand tall. I'm sorry, but I think Raw was really bad this week. It was really bad. I mean, we had Antonio Cesaro versus Kofi Kingston. I can't say his name. Kofi Kingston got the win for the second week in a row, and Antonio Cesaro attacks him again. Same thing from last week. The only difference was that the now preacher Big E comes out and saves him. So it's obvious that Big E and Cesaro are going to have a match in the future where Big E's going to lose because... What happened to Big E? He came in, he started off so well. He dominated John Cena, he had a good showing at WrestleMania 29. And now, I mean, he won the Intercontinental Championship. You'd think, alright, he's going to be over. He might be one of the future superstars. But no, now he's jobbing to Rusev, he's going to job to Cesaro. I don't get what WWE does sometimes. They set up a superstar, give him a, hope. They give him a championship, they set him off along the way, he wins some matches, he's put over. Then one day it's like they just get bored and then they go on to someone else. Alright, forget this guy, the fans aren't getting over him. The fans aren't loving him as much as we hoped they would. So we'll focus on this guy next. Who's this guy? Oh, Rusev. Oh, you're gonna love him because of the whole thing that's happening in the middle, Ukraine, Russia. So let's have a Russian powerhouse come in. It'll be awesome. We'll get tons and tons of views. But what's going to happen down in the future with Rusev? I mean, are they going to get bored of him too? Feed into John Cena? Oh, John Cena overcomes the odds again for the billionth time. Oh, John Cena's the greatest WWE Champion of all time. Fuck off. Seriously. He's not the greatest WWE Champion of all time. No way. No way. No way. You are stunting me. Is anyone really going to believe that someone wrote to The Miz and said he was the greatest superstar in the company? Who's going to believe that? Really? Come on. Oh, I received thousands of letters like this, Renee. Because I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. I am the most must-see WWE Champion of all time! Most boring WWE Champion of all time, more like. Send The Miz to NXT or whatever. Whatever. Yeah, man. Raw was definitely lacking this week. So on my scale of 1 to 10, I would give Raw quite easily, I'd give it a 4 out of 10 this week. It was lacking some of the matches we've seen previously or recently. As much as I hate to admit it, without the authority there, the show kind of slipped a little bit. I still don't understand why Cesaro is losing to Kingston. I mean, are you trying to show an angry side of Cesaro? It was good to see Jericho back in the ring against The Miz, and the whole Wyatt thing afterwards was interesting as well. Roman Reigns and Kane Brawl was my favourite part of the whole show, really. It was more action than anything else during the night. I mean, Cena versus Rollins, that was just boring. Sorry, it was just boring. And the weirdest part of the whole night was the whole Stardust, Goldust confrontation. I mean, what are you doing with Cody Rhodes at the moment? Are we going to see Cody Rhodes versus Goldust? Are we going to get a tag team title match? Which one? Make your minds up. But don't waste Cody Rhodes' career. I mean, as much respect as I have for Goldust, he's a fantastic athlete. Cody Rhodes is much younger and has way more years ahead of him than Goldust, so this is hurting Cody Rhodes more than it is hurting Goldust, in my opinion. The Divas, terrible this week. I always try to find something nice to say about the Divas, but the whole Bella thing that's going on, if you are going to do Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon, then you must be fucking crazy. Because whenever they try and get the fans behind them during matches, barely anybody responds. And even if somebody does, it's just somebody who thinks they're hot, not somebody that actually respects them for wrestling. The only reason the Bellas are so high up on the table is because they're both married to Daniel Bryan and John Cena. That's it, and they have good looks. But it should be AJ and Paige that are right at the top, and at the moment they are. But you just get that feeling the Bellas are going to sneak back in, just because they have powerful husbands. Especially Nikki Bella, who's married to John Cena. Definitely her. Let me think what else. The Wyatt Jericho thing, that looks interesting. I look forward to seeing that match in the future. I expect Bray Wyatt to win that. Superstar of the week. Gotta give it to Roman Reigns. He's making more of an impact than anyone else at the moment. John Cena, same old really. There's nothing new there. Antonio Cesaro, I don't really like the whole, I lost a match, I'm gonna, be a sore loser angle that you seem to be doing at the moment. The Divas, nothing really special. Then again, they rarely do anything special at the moment. I wish we could go back to the Trish Stratus, Lita, Jacqueline, Ivory days, Victoria as well. They were real divas. They were even real divas. They were wrestlers. They were female wrestlers who everyone respected. The women's championship, not the Divas championship. I just preferred it back in 2003, 2004, 2005 to now. Now it's just a joke. The Divas division is a joke. In my opinion, anyway, it's a joke. Some of you might like the Divas division. If you do, fair enough. I'm not going to stop you from watching it. Or not using it as your toilet break. Where was Ryback this week, anyway? Where was Ryback? So where's the big guy? I miss the big guy. I don't know what it is, but I actually like watching him, on the show for some strange reason. Maybe part of me still hoping that, I don't know, he'll win a belt eventually. Why is a Great Khali even in that Battle Royal? That makes no sense. No one is going to believe that he's going to win it. Not a chance in hell. Is he there just for, the big moment where Cesaro lifts him over the top rope or something, and everyone's like, oh my god, the Great Khali got thrown over the top rope. He's 7'4" or something, and he weighs so much, and Cesaro made it look so... Wait a minute. Oh, wait, it's Great Khali. That's not impressive at all. On one last note, I noticed on a couple of threads that Santino Marella is apparently retiring from action, and I'm not so sure how to feel about this, guys, because I've never properly been behind his comedic character. He's never really impressed me that much. I mean, when he started off, he was more impressive than he was now. I mean, just pathetic now. The whole Cobra thing and this whole thing he has going on with Emma, which ultimately led to nothing, really. I mean, what happened? Were they ever going to get together? Was Emma not being serious? Who really cares? But because of the whole thing that's happened with Emma in the last week, the whole getting arrested, being released by the company, then brought back in, where does this leave Emma now? Santino, if he really is retiring, does she go off on her own path and somehow get into the Divas Championship thing? Will anyone take her serious if all she's doing is... If she's just doing this all the time? I mean, partly I don't get this at all, but actually... it is kind of fun, actually, once you do it for a bit. Okay guys, that's all from me this week. See you next week with another review. I'm out.